Alright, so here we go, dropping the last recap of the day. Now, this one right here is a lady sharing her situation where she experienced spiritual demons sleeping with her. You know, remember them there, and several of them we covered on the platform. Now, this lady said that she could literally feel when she wake up, like in both areas, private parts on her body, like this demon was just utilizing both areas. Family, this was a very interesting one that was shared on Unstoppable Live. I mean, now go keep on waiting too much longer. Now go just make on take a listen right now. Jump in and listen to this one that was shared on Unstoppable Live.
I am in a situation I've never been in there before. I'm not a spiritual well, I should say before I wasn't a spiritual person. Um, and now I have become a little bit more closer to God and to my Bible and to my prayers. Before I was just living really. So I want to start by saying when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I was living with both parents, mother and father. And I saw my father moving some stuff from, because we were living in a rent house at the time. So I saw my father moving some stuff from the house, and he had it on a push cart. And I don't know where he was going with it. So I said to him, Daddy, I can come on this trip with you. And he said, I was really gonna carry on the last trip, but sure, come on. So I went on the cart and we went out. We went probably about 15 minutes from where we actually was living, and we reached our destination. And he said to me, look up on that hill. And when I look up the hill, he said, that's where we're gonna live now. I said, okay. It was a two bedroom board house on the hill, and my grandmother and my grandfather lived, well, more like on the flat part, because she was living on the right hand and we were living on the left hand. And so we were separated with just by the road, and we were living on the hill. So my father said, all right, we're going to go back for the rest of the stuff. You want to come with me or you want to stay by your grandmother? So I said, no, I'll come back and grab some stuff with you. So little me, we go back and we grab TV and the last iron board and whatever. Come now, when we all settled in, while I was living there now, I started having a lot of dreams. A lot of dreams, and they're not good dreams, they're always like nightmares. And you know, it reached to the point where there were like scenarios, or what you would call it, episodes. My dreams were like episodes. So if I would dream tonight that I was walking somewhere and I wake up in the morning that I stop at a mango tree. When I go back to sleep, that's where the dream pick up. And I used to have that going on for a long while. So till I said to my mom, Mommy, I keep having nightmares and I don't like it. And she said to me, because you're eating late, man. That's why you be dreaming these kind of stuff. So me ignore it and say, all right, that's how it go. Anyways, okay. So from that now, as she explained to me that, it's because I eat late at night. That's why I've been dreaming. Or one particular day, because my mom works in the night. So she worked from about 3 o'clock till 9 at night. And my father would do the day shift. My father would do the day shift. So one particular Sunday, as usual, my chores is to clean up the house. And then after I finish, I go to my grandmother's house and stay. This particular Sunday, I washed the dishes, but before I wash it, I shine the floor. This time we had genie polish and coconut brush. I don't know if you know them stuff, they're unstoppable, but that's what we had then. And I shine up the floor, and the next thing was to wash the dishes. So I washed the plate, and we had just a little like a makeup kind of thing at the back where we wash the dishes. So that's where I was washing it, right at the back of the house. So the water and the dirt get mixed up, so it make a little mess. Anyways, after doing that, I went to the bathroom now because I'm supposed to shower now and then head on to my grandmother's house. When I went to the bathroom and stopped up, I changed off, and then I remember that I didn't take the towel with me. So I said, oh my, I have to go back to the towel. So I look out, kind of peep to make sure say my neighbor is not out and seeing me, and make sure said the coast can be decided, I mean, I put on back my clothes, figure take up one towel. So me say, me I go just make a fast run and run back to the, Anyways, when I step out, I hear a goat and a fowl in the house. And I see the footprints. They walk from the back door to the kitchen or the dining area. But it's like a kitchen, dining, everything in one because it's a two-bedroom house. I could not see this goat nor this fowl. All I see is the footprint. One footprint of a chicken, one footprint of the goat. And in my spirit, I believe they're joined together, but I could not see them. Does God live it? My mother is the only witness here today that can say this is so. And my grandmother, but she has passed and gone, and my father also, he's passed and gone. Nevertheless, I ran around the front of the house because I got so scared because I cannot see this thing and this thing is just making footprints towards the living area. So I run around the front part of the house, pushing the door to see if I can actually see this thing. And all I hear them is just like I hear the goat and the fowl in the. I had a bucket with all the plates that I just washed. I put them in there to drain, and then I would put them where they need to go after they drain. And I pushed the door. I couldn't see anything. So the next thing was I said I have to run to my grandmother and tell my grandmother that something is in the house and I cannot see it. I cover up my front and because by this time I basically start having pubic hairs and cover up myself. When I ran, I reached on my grandmother. I saw my two uncles and my grandfather sitting on the veranda. So they kind of lean out the chair because they said, wait, why you come down here so naked? So I said to them, Papa, something is in the house and I cannot see it. I believe it's a fowl and it's a goat, but I cannot see it. So them said, go on up back and put on clothes. You mean it's a fowl and goat in the house. Go on up back and put on clothes. So my grandmother was in the kitchen and she heard what I said. So she came out. She said, why are you naked? I said, something is in the house, Mama, and I cannot see it. So she said, come inside. We're going inside. She said, put on one of my duster, which is a robe. And I put it on and she said, come on with me. While we're walking up the hill, she put her two on her side. So she got to take forever now to climb the little piece of hill to come up to see by the time. So me keep on a walk, but me I look to see if she come because me I try to catch whatever is in the house. When she come, she said to me, where this thing coming from? I said to her, it come from the back and it made some footprints. So she said, bring me around there. Bring her around at the back. She see the footprints and she look and then she said, all right, here what? Put on some clothes and come on. So I said to her, I said, Mama, I was going to bathe and she said, just put on your clothes and come on. Put on my clothes and we close up the house, go down. I believe she told my father about it because he came in the night and in basic, because I didn't clean out the house. I left it as it is. So he came home, he saw the footprint. My mother and also everybody see the footprints. Nobody said anything to me. I didn't ask what it was. They haven't said anything to me about it. Time going by and we still live at the same place and my mom said she keep hearing sounds in the house. She hear like somebody walking in spike heels in the house. And this was when I wake up. But I still kept having the dreams as I go along. Somebody keep feeding me in the dream or it was always scary. And then one particular, not even one, it was several nights. Several nights. I kept dreaming that someone kept opening my mouth. And I cannot see who it is, but I kept fighting. I kept fighting and they kept opening my mouth to the point where my mouth was open, lock open. And once I stopped fighting, that's when I feel like my mouth would close, like it slowly closed. That happened for a while and I realized something was wrong, but I still never say anything to my parents because I hear them say, something kept coming in the house. By this time now, the house, my mom and my dad extend the house, so now we had the concrete surrounded the board part of the house. So the house kind of more developed more like a family house now. After all these things that I'm going through, still going through the dreams, and this was the one that I actually told my father about now, was I remember sleeping on the bed because it was a holiday. We were off from school and I was planning to spend some time with my cousin that day. And I remember sleeping, but I was on my belly. And the phone was right in front of me. I was just waiting on her to call me, but I dozed off a little. And I remember the phone ring. I woke up. I look at the phone and unstoppable, I could not move my hands. I couldn't move my body. I couldn't move no part of me to answer this phone. By this time, I was around, I would say about 14 years old. And I couldn't answer the phone and I couldn't understand why I couldn't move. So I started fighting. I felt myself fighting like I wanted to move. I couldn't move. So after the phone stopped ring, that's when I felt free. So I grabbed the phone and I called my cousin and I said, I see you calling, but for some reason I couldn't move. And she said, what do you mean you couldn't move? I said, I couldn't move. And she said, that's strange. So when my father came from work, I said, Daddy, I was in the house today. I was sleeping. I think I dozed off for probably about 10 minutes. And when I woke up, I couldn't move. He said to me if I had the TV on or the radio on. I said, no, nothing was on. I was just sleeping. Then he said to me, next time you're sleeping, leave the radio on. Don't just sleep in the silent house. And he said, if it's night, sleep with the lights on. Till this day is unstoppable. I'm still sleeping with night lights. As old as I am. After that, still dreaming my dreams. I basically kind of just accept whatever was happening. And this holding down thing went on. I couldn't do nothing about it. So by this time I got a little bit older and I met my son's father. And while I was with him, my father now eventually, he got sick. He got sick, passed away, and now about a week in, about a week in, I started having dreams of him. He started telling me stuff. And whatever he had said to me in the dream always manifests or it comes to life, whatever he had said. And because of that, now I start gravitate to everything now. So anytime I dream him, because now I miss him, I want to see him, and if this is the only way to see him, then I'm grabbing onto this dream. And I started to tell my mother the things that I was dreaming about, and she said to me, you know, basically your father been dreaming to me, and but it seems like your dreams are a little bit more straight because whatever you said, that is exactly what is happening. And some of the things that you're saying, nobody knows about these things until it actually happened. So, like I said, I gravitate to all the dreams, everything when my grandmother dreams. Sometimes I see them, but there's always this one particular person that's always feeding me. I don't know why. They just keep feeding me. Anyways, after my father passed for a good little while, maybe within a month, I was sleeping on the bed with my son father, and about 6 o'clock in the morning, I was laying on my belly, and I felt something slide. There was like a finger slide from my knee joint all the way down to my ankle. So I jump up and I turn my baby father at the time turn and he said, what happened? Why you jump? I said, something touched me. He said, what you mean something touched you? I said, something touched me. Something just dragged their finger down. So he turned and he said, remember see your father dead, Remember see your father dead, maybe I him come look for you. I like me say no, me always a dream to my father, so if he hears so my father come now, if he come look for me in person. Literally a touch me. Me I gravitate to that too. So me accept everything that, I must say maybe your father come look for you. Me I say, well, you're probably right, So me not pay that no mind no more, me kinda do it with that. Do it with that. Carry on till me and my son father separated and we moved to Montego Bay, and I was there in Montego Bay in an apartment, And the most I could say happened there was, as you know, I sleep in the night light. Sleep in the night light. The most I could say happened there was every night I turn on the light, wake up in the morning, or wake up whenever in the night, the light turn off on its own. And that happened every night. I don't know if there's like a short in the night light or what's going on, but shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any issue, but that's what's been happening. And this time I rented out one of the rooms there because it was multiple rooms, and I reached a point where I couldn't afford to keep up with the rent, so I rent out one of the room. And I noticed the girls them start put up cross on the door and stuff like that. So I asked them if something, something been bothering them. It's just something that passed through and them not sure what it is, but they just want to be safe. So they put up a cross on the door, they anoint the door, put up tape measure at the door, all sort of stuff at the door. And I'm so that was in Jamaica. That was in Jamaica. So now my mom filed for me. I moved to America. When I came to America, I was living with my mom, and then I moved and lived with my, my now ex-husband. And I was living with him. I still have the dreams, still come along. And while I was living with him, I remember one particular early morning he left to go to work because he drives the bus, one of them big bus. Um, drive the bus to work. But this morning he called me and said, I left something. I'm gonna come back and pick it up. I said, all right, that's fine. When I check it out, he came, pick up the stuff, he left. But all I can remember is somebody called my name, and me turn, me look. I see somebody come in his uniform because he wear a uniform to work. He wear a blue uniform and black pants. I see somebody come in the uniform, black as made like his well, what would be his human body is a dark or black what you call it now. Instead of the skin and bone and all of that, it would just be this dark spot. That's it. That would be him. And he called my name. So I turned around and then he turned away and walked out. So I said, wait there, something not right here, so. So I just kind of, but I was actually sleeping when this was happening. So I woke up, I grabbed the phone, I called him, I said, did you come here? He said, of course I come there, me even talk to you. I said, well, something just come in here and call me name and me. I thought it was you. He said, no, it's not me. I left out of the house 30 minutes ago. I told his mom. The mom said, well, maybe I bring whatever back in the house. And I don't know. I wouldn't even puzzle at that. I really don't know. All right. Where am I now? So I finished with my ex-husband. Moving to my apartment because we got separated. So I moved into my apartment. And while I'm there, everything seems normal. I had my dreams and whatever, but everything seems normal as possible. Then I bought my house. After I bought my house, I been having some issues. So after I bought the house, I realized that when I go to bed at night, I wake up feeling like someone had fondled me. And I live alone. And I was not sure how to deal with that. So I kind of leave it because I don't know what to think of it. But I know when I wake up in the morning, there's this urge for me to go and help myself out just for the sake of the viewers. This urge was on me to go and help myself out. And I decided I'm not going to do it, not do anything, but just I go make it slide or go take a cold shower like some people say. Sometimes I don't do that. But then I found that it was becoming more effective more often. So maybe like 3 times for the week. So I called my friend and I explained because I don't know who to go tell say something happened to me because I don't think nobody would believe. So I called my friend in New York. I said, I think something is messing with me. He said to me, oh, you sleep in the house? I said to him, well, it's summer, so I just sleep in my little t-shirt and I cover up with the sheet. I don't put any bottom on. He said, well, don't sleep like that anymore because even the angels watch. I said, what do you mean the angels watch? And he said, you know, you have good and you have bad, so maybe something is there watching you. So me start catch my afraid, then now me start wear my long pants and everything long me start wear. Even though I was wearing my long pants, I noticed that I was still being affected by this. And when I mean affected, now I started to have the dreams that I'm actually sleeping with someone in the dream. But when I wake up, I'm waking up in pain. So sometimes it would take me a good 3 minutes before I can move from the position that I am in. That's how much pain I'm in. If you're asking where, both areas of the private area, don't miss any part, both areas, because while in the dream, these are the whole action that's going on. I don't know if you understand Unstoppable, because I don't want to be too.
Me understand clearly, and for the people, them we are listening, if them not slow in a class, then we keep up to. Aye.
Yes.
So hold on there, before you move on. Now, you're telling us that this feels as if you literally just have some fun with a human, a physical person. That is how it feels to you, like when you really?
Yes. You know, this was the realness of it is as if I am actually in bed with someone and they're fondling me and I'm enjoying the fondling. But it has reached to a stage where it's more like rape. It's not even like they're not asking me, hey, can we have intercourse or can we do foreplay? No. I
And
just find myself just opening up and giving it.
and
basically.
how I want you to tell us how often this happens, like how much times a week, but
By this time, this thing has been happening maybe 2, 3 times, um, 2, 3 times a week. I have no control over it, and it has manifest to a human form. And reason why I say that because I am actually in pain. So no, I'm no longer dreaming about this thing. It has taken the form of a human, which means if I feel pain in the dream or whenever I dream I feel pain, when I wake up I'm guaranteed to feel this pain. I am a person that sleeps on my back. And it doesn't matter if I'm on my back, my side, I guarantee to wake up with pain. Both parts. I am so scared to say what is both parts. I'm not going to hide it.
no,
Both parts.
that's fine. You're sharing your experience, so just share it. We're all
Yes,
adults here.
right. Because some people might not understand that they go
All right,
whichever way they
all right.
want to.
Here we go on now. For the people them wanna understand when she said both parts, she talking about the front and the back. All right, plain as continue. So they must understand now. All right, she said
Okay.
the spirit is having sex with her front and back. All right, them get it. Continue.
All right. This going on now, it's been going on for a while to the point where I said, no, I don't think I can deal with this any longer. And it come to a point where I said, no, I need to speak to somebody about this. And I was thinking of my family member who to ask, somebody who I think I can really trust. And I think of my aunt because she's basically in the church. I said, let me go to her and see if she can help me or figure out what's happening. I went to her and I tell her what's happening. First thing she said to me is, what you watch before you go to sleep at night? I said, I just watch regular TV. I try to watch comedy just to relax my mind. And then I'm on my phone. And whichever one want to watch me fall asleep, that's just how it goes. If the phone entice me, the TV entice me. She said, you think about your ex-boyfriend? I said, no, and again, he'll come by, but I'm kind of over that now. She said, no, I don't think you're over. I think you're still hurt about it. And I think that's why you're thinking that something is sleeping with you. So she said, hear what? You need to anoint your house. But I think you need to speak to a therapist. I said, okay. But in my mind, I don't think I need to speak to no therapist because if if someone say I'm feeling pain in my hand, not because you don't see a big bump coming out of it, doesn't mean they're not feeling pain.
Mm-hmm.
So if she tell me to go to a therapist, I felt like the therapist not gonna give me a pill to get rid of what's happening over here. Because in my mind, I felt that this was spiritual. This was not something that a therapist needed to speak on because they won't understand. Anyways, after speaking to her, I called the pastor because I felt the pastor would probably give me more advice. Called the pastor, said I explained to him what was happening. First thing he said to me, he said, "Sister, that's wet dream. You know, everybody have wet dream." I said, "From I know myself, I never have no wet dream, pastor." He said, "No, man, you know, you maybe don't have a boyfriend now, so your body is calling, but nevertheless, the pain part is where I don't understand. I never hear anybody say they have pain, so that's a little bit concerning to me." So he said, "Hear what? I'm going to pray with you. You know, I'm going to pray with you and we're going to leave it to God." Anyways, he prayed and it still didn't sit well with me that, you know, me feel like me never get the answer what I was looking for. So I remember I had a pastor on my Facebook page. He always giving out his WhatsApp number and say, you know, people who are going through problems, a list of problems that he put out. And I said, you know, I probably need to give this pastor a call because he seems to understand what I'm going through. I gave him a text. I sent him a text message and he responded. I said, give him about 30 minutes. He was in middle of something. I said, that's fine. He called me. It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. And the reason why I really had to reach out to him because it happened to me that Sunday morning. And I said, that was it. I don't think I want to go through this anymore. Because I woke up that Sunday. I was laying down on the bed for a good whole 4 minutes, couldn't move because of the pain. And this pain is not a pain that, like it's up on and off, on and off. It is a pain as if someone literally pinches skin and just not letting go, and you just start feel that numbing pain where you just want a break, you want it to just go away. And then sometimes I will feel that sensation as if someone rub pepper, like literal pepper. That's how it burns. So those are I just couldn't deal with that anymore. So I called the pastor. Well, the pastor called me back, I should say. He asked me to explain what was happening, and he asked me to go back as far as I can remember. And I said, okay, fine. I go back to my childhood days, and I tell him up until today. And he said, sister, I want to talk with you. Let me tell you what's happening to you. He said, first of all, this is a spirit. They have two kind of spirits. They have incubus, they have succubus. I said, what you mean by that? What you mean incubus? He said, first I want to ask you. He said, sister, what's the word he used? You know, he said, are you filled with the Holy Spirit? By this time I'm lost. So I said to him, Pastor, I was baptized when I was younger, but you know, I'm in the world now. I'm not really fully there yet. He said, well, first you have to do is give your life to God. But then he started to explain to me that it is actually a demon spirit that is assigned to me or is assigned to my family due to ancestral spirits or someone mending. So sometimes it's not even your ancestors, but it can be you. It can develop through you, and it can come through being raped or being rejected or anything that is negative, basically. But when they come along, he said they don't want to leave or they're hard. They're the most difficult spirits to leave then. So you have to get deliverance from these spirits. So while he was explaining to me, everything that I said to him was exactly what he was kind of putting out there, and even things that I did not know, he was expressing to me that this is what they're capable of doing, and that they're very, should say, demanding or protective of whoever they hold on to, because basically what he was saying is that the spirit is married to me, which, me lost right there. So, cause everything was new, what he was saying to me, but it made a little bit of sense compared to the other two persons that I have spoken to. So I said, how do I deal with this? He asked me if I ever felt like there was a ring on my finger, or did I ever dream that I was in a wedding. I tell him, yeah, I dreamed that someone said they're gonna marry to me, and the marriage never happened. He said, well, that's a signal to say that you are already married. And I said, yeah, sometimes I do feel there's a sensation of a ring on my finger, but I just assume it was muscles or whatever. And he said, no, this was actually to prove to you. And he said, you are very, very blessed because you dream a lot, and this is how you know that something was going wrong with you, because this is how God really shows his people what is really happening to them. It's always through your dream. That's how you know what is going to happen to you in the future, or is currently running course in your life. Your dream shows these things to you. And he said basically this was a lot of witchcraft or whatever he was explaining. All me one knows how to get rid of this thing. So I asked him, how do I? He said, first I have to pray for you. It's gonna be like a deliverance prayer. He said it might work and it might not, because you sometimes need hands to be laid on you. You need someone to speak out whatever is there. So I started getting afraid, but I still want the deliverance at the same time. And he prayed, and he prayed in tongues, and unstoppable. From that day, he prayed for me. I can safely say I have not had an attack wherein I feel pain. So now I still do dream the dreams, but I do not have that attack. So I explained to the pastor that, I no longer have that attack where this thing come and actually have intercourse where I feel the pain. But I still do dream. He said, you dream because it's there, or sometimes it just trying to, what do you call it, make a covenant, make a new covenant to be back. So he asked me if I want this thing to go away completely, I would have to put away sex. I have to ensure that whoever I'm going to sleep with, basically kind of giving me the guidelines as to how not to make this thing come back in my life. And like I said, all this thing is new to me, but since then I have been doing the most. So I've been praying, I've been fasting, but it's like nothing is not getting rid of it. So I dream more about having sex. I dream more about someone feeding me. I still dream these dreams, and they're very they come more often than I would wish them to. And so I'm just left in limbo, not sure how to deal with this or what else to do. And yes, I have been in to deliverance in person with a pastor, and my expectation was I'm going to stand there, the pastor going to say, come out of her and you demon or whatever, and this thing would start speaking through me or come out. I'm not exaggerating. I would expect that was what would happen, but it never happened. So I started doing my own little research on YouTube, and I realized that a lot of females and males have been going through the same thing that I have been going through, yet everyone's deliverance was different.
Alright, so the story did not end there. It continued. If you want to listen to the rest of what was shared, click the link in the description. It will take you on over to the live channel where you can continue listening in its entirety. When you go over there, remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications. So once we go live, you will be notified and you will be able to call in, participate, and be a part of the live discussion. Also, hit the subscribe button right here on the recap channel as well. So once we drop another video, you will not miss it. Alright, until the next Unstoppable Recap, stay strong, stay motivated, but most of all, remain unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.